Welcome, everybody, to this latest episode of Park Bench Pals. So happy to have you guys here. I am joined by some of my pals. Their first appearance on Park Bench Pals, but this is definitely not the first time that we have podcasted together. Please welcome John and Mel from Mickey and the Mouse podcast. Welcome, John. Welcome, Mel.
Hey, everybody.
You.
How you doing?
I'm so excited to have you guys here. As soon as I knew that this was happening, what's going to happen is that all of the people that I have podcasted with in the past, which I've met you guys through the Happiest Podcast on Earth. Yes. Mel and I were co-hosts on the Happiest Podcast back in the day. But as soon as I knew that this is what was going to happen, it was like, I am going to eventually have all of those people back on the podcast at some point.
100%.
Also, my first time going into podcasting, we did a review of Wish together. That was my first ever.
Yeah, that he ever,
wow.
Yeah, that he ever.
That was the beginning.
Yeah, that was.
That was on Happiest Podcast on Earth.
It was a Patreon episode.
Yeah, it was a Patreon episode. Yeah, that we did.
Well, and then you loved it. We'll get into all of this, but you loved it so much that you guys started a podcast together.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's where
They're married, by the way. They have a beautiful child.
Yes, we do. He's currently sleeping. Hopefully he stays that way.
more on you guys. Oh my gosh, so precious. More on you guys in a second. But also, it just made sense, and this we'll get into some of this as well. But it just made sense for Mel, you specifically, to come on when discussing Wicked. So for those of you who, spoiler alert, and it's in the title of this episode, but this entire episode is going to be about Wicked. It just makes sense. This is Wicked Week for all of us who celebrate. There will be some, I do want to have, and I didn't warn you guys about this, but I do want to have some theme park conversation in there as well.
Okay.
Specifically about Wicked, because I have now seen the movie twice. I just got done seeing it for the second time. You guys just watched it for the first time. But this is also not you guys' first exposure to Wicked. You guys are, I would say, based also on your merchandise that you are currently sporting.
Literally sporting, this isn't even close to all of it. What do you mean?
Correct. Super fans, for sure, of Wicked. And I know you guys have seen the stage production. Mel, you've seen it
six times.
And I have a cool story to share about Wicked later when we're going
to. We could talk about it all night, truly.
I love it. Well, we'll get into all of that for sure, but I'm super excited that you guys are here. Thank you for joining me. And because we're going to be celebrating all things Wicked today, I'm not going to necessarily get into a whole lot of theme park news conversation. Really, honestly, there's not a whole lot happening in the theme park space. Things are sort of like business as usual. There's not a lot of announcements happening. IAAPA is currently happening in Orlando. So IAAPA is a huge theme park convention where a lot of the people who build the attractions have a convention in Orlando. And so we get to see a glimpse into a lot of the new ride vehicles that are coming for certain attractions. So places like SeaWorld Orlando, Dollywood, they've all shown people examples of what some of their new ride vehicles will look like for when they're currently developing attractions at those parks. So there's exciting things happening with IAAPA for sure, but it's Wicked Week. So.
Yeah. It's Wicked Week, and they know it too. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's just no point.
Right.
So, and I hope that, I know that some of you listening may not have seen the movie, you may not have seen the stage production. I hope that by listening to this, it will get you interested in going to see it, because the story is really beautiful in a lot of different ways, and we'll get into all of that. I also do want to say, if you have not seen the movie yet and are trying to avoid any sort of spoilers, you're going to want to stop listening for now.
This is not the episode for you.
You should go. Yeah. Come back later.
Correct. Yeah, save this, bookmark it, and come back and listen if that's something that's super important to you, because obviously this is very early. We're jumping into this conversation very quickly. The movie is not even out yet. So you're listening to this episode the day before it technically releases in theaters. So
we're really cool and we want you to listen, but
maybe hold off if you're trying.
But if you're okay with hearing and genuinely are interested in hearing our feedback, and it's going to be such a unique listen because we all are approaching it from different angles. I would say that you guys' approach is very similar in that you guys have seen the stage production, you have a passion for it, you have a love for the songs and understanding of the plot, Have you guys read the books?
Yes.
Okay.
Where
The
and he
book-
goes and there, yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
I
Which
have
we'll
my
get in-
media ready to go. Okay.
We'll get into the book as well, but so like you guys have a deeper understanding of the storyline
Very
for
much.
sure compared to what I have. My only exposure has been the movies. So I saw the first movie last year, fell in love with it, and was very excited, and have been very excited about this second installment. And that's the length, the extent of my knowledge of the Wicked franchise. So. I have been able to have conversations with Mel. I've been able to have conversations with other friends about like how maybe the movies differed from the stage production and how the stage production also differs from the books. So we will jump into all of that conversation. But first, it is not Park Bench Pals with a couple of different things. First and foremost, Hi Dad Soup. So Hi Dad Soup is a segment that started over on That Tracks, and it went to sleep for a little while I was like in between. But now that I'm back on the park bench, I figured why not? And I'm super excited because you guys are both parents, and so I wonder, is there a moment that happened this week or the last couple weeks for you guys, and so specifically for you, Mel, when
Yeah.
Francie was on a couple weeks ago, instead of it being Hi Dad Soup for her, she called it Hi Mom Cereal. so,
I love that. I have Hi Mom cereal.
so you'll have your Hi Mom Cereal moment, and then John, if you have a Hi Dad Soup moment, feel free to share as well.
Yeah.
Just a fun moment where you were like, man, it is so cool to be a parent,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, your child is absolutely freaking precious.
Thank you.
We
Oh
love
my gosh,
him
he's
so much.
so beautiful. I cannot wait to meet him one day.
One day. It's
yeah.
gonna
It
happen.
makes me
I promise.
it makes me sad that he's almost a year old and that has not happened.
We may actually be planning a week trip in like April.
Yeah, we're trying to get down to but
Wow.
for real.
Yeah.
We're really looking at April. It might be
Good.
like a family trip. We do want to come down. That way we have the grandparents to help us too. Be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, don't you want the baby? Okay, bye.
That's awesome. Well, that has to happen, and little Mick has to meet little Zoe.
Yes,
Of
they
course,
have to
of
meet
course.
each
They're
other.
gonna be
I need to
pals
meet your
one day.
little- I can't.
Yeah.
I just want to give her the biggest like smush. She is the
Uh,
cutest.
yeah.
Like,
She's precious.
I know.
She's like, I get to have every morning with her because I get her ready to take her to childcare in the mornings, and so we just have our like father-daughter time, and it is like so fulfilling. It is the best thing in the world for
That's
sure.
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But anyways, so before you get into that, I guess people are probably like, we want to know more about who these people are. So, who are you? Where did you come from?
Who are you?
What is the name of your podcast? And we'll plug it all at the end as well. But
Yeah.
just a quick
Well-
quick note on who you guys are, and then you can share your Hi Dad and Hi Mom.
Hi Mom cereal.
Yeah.
So we're Mel and John, and we're a married couple. We've been together 13 years.
Yes.
But only married. We got married in 2022. So we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're vastly approaching the amount of time we've known each other versus not known each other.
yeah, we're very quickly approaching.
Wild,
Like
right?
literally, my sister and brother have known John longer than they haven't known John.
Yeah.
They've hit that point, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we've been together a really long time. Our brains are almost always on the same wavelength, and we decided to do a podcast based from HPOE, which a lot of us have now. Like we've branched off in so many directions because of it, and this spun out of that. So we have been working on Mickey and the Mouse for a little over a year now.
Yep.
And it's been really fun. And literally, we decided to start a podcast, and then I immediately got pregnant.
Within like 2 months
Within
of
like
launch.
2 months of launch. So everyone kind of has traveled through us becoming parents.
One of my favorite things about like episode 1 or like very early on in the episode process, like, wow, this is going to be a great time capsule before we have kids.
Before we have kids. And then it was like 2
Immediately.
months later, I'm sitting there recording episodes trying not to throw up. And I'm just like, this is crazy. That it came on much quicker than we thought. So it was definitely, it's been an amazing whirlwind experience for us. We're really into Disney, obviously, and musicals. Movies, just everything with arts.
But also we like to focus on entertainment news as a whole.
Yeah.
And really like dive into. So the crux of the name Mickey and the Mouse comes from really it's two thought processes of the company. You have the whimsical side of the company, which is Mickey.
which is the
And
part
then
we love, you know.
Anytime people talk about the business, it's the mouse. So
Yeah.
you have to have a nice
Good.
little healthy mix on how you're really enjoying your entertainment and where your entertainment's coming from.
And really, like, everything they have to do, good and bad, to give us the content we get. You know what I mean? So it's like, we try not to be too harsh, but we're pretty honest about how we feel about things. And it's because we love Disney and we want to see them improve. So that's kind of our whole shtick.
All constructive.
All constructive, all positive, all good vibes. We love going to the parks. It's like everything.
We also do live streams on Twitch.
We do a lot of live streams.
Yeah, I love you guys. It's been such a fun thing to see grow and blossom, because you guys have your own community, your own, like, just a group of people who just really, like, love and support you guys, and that's so encouraging to see. But I'm obviously, like, one of your biggest cheerleaders. I'm so proud of everything that you guys do. When you guys first announced the concept of the podcast, I was just like, yes, this is amazing.
This is what they need to do.
Well, your banter together is obviously so incredible, and, like, your passion for the parks, but also just media, like you said, in general, it's so evident and it's so real. We got to experience D23 together a couple of years ago.
And maybe again this summer.
Yeah, we want to go this summer. That would be really great.
I will be there for sure.
I'll be like, hey, bud.
But yeah, so it like, getting to walk through that experience with you guys as well. Just, I got to see the continued passion that you guys have for all of the company that Disney is, for sure.
Oh yeah, the biggest works ever for it, truly.
Yeah. You did college program for a period of time.
Yes.
With Disney.
3 months. I was a dropout for sure. I say it proudly because I feel like people get so in their heads about, like, if I don't stick it out, then I'm a failure, and, like, it's not for everybody. It's not. I mean, and you know, like, AJ loves the company and everything about it, and is a big proponent for them, and, like, had a great career with them, and, you know, continues to work with Disney in, like, influencer ways and things like that. And, you know, Andrew obviously loves working for Disney and everything like that. They're friends of ours from HPOE. Yep. But yeah, for me, no. I said I think I enjoy this as a guest, not so much.
It's awesome. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that relate to you in that experience, for sure. And you know, I think that's awesome. We can get more into that, but I have our 4 park icons, which are the 4 questions that I ask any guest that comes on. And one of those is, what is your favorite theme park? These don't have to be Disney specific, although I feel like yours may lean towards that.
Yeah.
But I know what park is not your favorite, Mel, and obviously that comes with years and years of podcasting together, but that ties into your DCP experience, which is at Animal Kingdom, correct?
Animal Kingdom. I don't go to Animal Kingdom. No offense to Animal Kingdom lovers. I fully believe it's a half-day park, and I know people argue that. I am not a fan. There's too much trauma there for me to do it.
Everyone has their reasons.
Everyone has their reasons. Mine is, like, I still hear the music tracks playing in my head when I sleep. Like, it's just, it's not for me.
That's real. If you have a job that you don't necessarily have, like, the best experience with, there's things that, like, trigger that sort of emotional response for you. And if it's the music, that's tragic, because I do love Animal Kingdom, and I also am in the club that thinks that it's a full day park. But
I know.
But I understand.
Yeah, I'll go, and I'm happy that other people like it, and I understand the conservation side of it and everything like that. But I just think it's kind of ironic, like, a park that is just, you know, as big as it is and uses all the things it does, that they're preaching conservation almost, because I'm like, I get it, but also it's like we're consumerists in it.
Yeah, there's so much
you know what I mean? And that's not me even being like, it's not me slanting on Disney. I think it's just in general, like, I just find that kind of ironic.
Totally.
And this is how humans have to process things in order to help the environment. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, I get that for sure. No, I totally understand. I think there's obviously, like, great things happening there that they're doing.
I really do admire what they do. I don't want that to be, like, not noticed as, like, what they do there to help animals, and, you know, their programs are fantastic. Like, the actual work being done is beautiful. It's just the way that it's approached, and I think it's just a problem in general. Like, that, you know, you could say the same thing about, like, SeaWorld. It's just kind of like, okay.
No, I hear you for sure. I also think it's cool that we're talking about a musical, because you guys first met one another. You guys went to school together.
Yes.
But first met one another through a musical, right? Or is that maybe you guys had met before, but that was your first like real interaction with each other?
It was musicals. Like, so we actually were in elementary school together, but he doesn't remember that. We were
I
in
love
Annie together, and I was Annie's understudy, and he was Daddy Warbucks. So I
Oh
would have
my
been
gosh,
like,
amazing.
what, 8?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think I was like 8 when I met you, right?
I guess.
Because you were in 6th grade, I was in 4th. And then we met again. I knew him from Drowsy Chaperone, so we did that musical together in high school, but we talked during Seussical. So that's like
Yeah.
when we actually like connected as people, was during that show. But
I
yeah,
love it.
musicals, that's
It
how
really was one of those, like, I saw her in the room and I was like, whoa, who is this?
I did the same thing. I know it sounds so corny, but I saw him walk in the room and I was like, who is this guy? And he was like, why is she sitting in my seat?
Yeah. But why is
I
this
love
pretty
that.
girl sitting in my
Oh,
seat?
yeah, thanks.
I
I love
remember
that.
the
That's
exact
so-
outfit. I remember everything.
He does. He's literally like, it was a white sweater dress with black leggings and boots. Like
And the
he'll
buckle.
And the
So
buckle.
precious.
And the buckle.
So, yeah, we're gross.
I wish that Francie and I had the same experience, but the first time that Francie and I met each other, I was filling out an application to be on this like team that we were going to LA to work with like the homeless in LA.
Okay.
And Francie was like sort of helping to like lead that trip with one of her friends. I say lead, she was just like there to support her friend and was like, I'm gonna go on the trip as well. So I was like filling out the application, and I guess Francie walked up to me and she was like, "Hi, I'm Francie," and I was like, "Hey," and I barely even looked up and like said anything.
Hey.
I was so like in the zone and like filling out the application that was our first interaction. So I'm glad that you guys had this beautiful moment where like it was like the Hallelujah chorus was playing and like the light. Francie
And we
was just
looked
like,
at each other. Yeah.
"Hey, I'm Francie," and I was like, "Sup?" I was like,
We'll have babies one day. Don't worry about
really
it.
tragic. Yeah.
No, honestly, like I know it's so corny, and like people are like, "That's not real. That can't be actually how you guys met." I'm like, "No, but truly, from day one, there was always just something about him, and it just, yeah." And my mom knew. I got in the car that day, and I'm like, "I met a boy," and she went, "Oh, we're done for," because she just was like, "I know who you're talking about. I remember him. I taught him." Oh God.
I love it. That's so awesome. Well, I know that we took forever to get there, but hi dad soup and hi mom cereal moment of the week. Do you guys have one?
Well, this is an analogy I don't think has ever been said by a parent before.
Okay.
And I'm very
That's a big claim.
proud of this analogy
Okay.
because it goes really into my nerdy kind of quality.
Okay, I don't know what he's
When
doing.
you put your kid to bed
Yeah.
and you're looking on the monitor, I always like to relate it to like playing Pokemon. So, like when they're laying in the crib and they're kind of just like rocking back and forth, and it's kind of like you're about to catch a Pokemon. You're like,
Oh my gosh,
is it
yeah.
going to go down? Is it going to go? And you're like, yes! Every single time. I don't think I've said that on an episode yet. I've voiced
I
that
didn't
with
know.
friends
Brilliant.
and family, and it's just one of those things. There's no better feeling than when you're like, it's 3 a.m. You hear the baby stirring, you see them like rocking back and forth.
And you're like, no.
That
and
is such a millennial parent thing to say. It's not even funny. But it's so true. It's like you're waiting, and then it's all of a sudden it clicks, and you almost see like the little stars come up, where it's like, yes.
I'm telling you, any person that grew up as a millennial playing
Yeah.
Pokemon
It's gonna be like,
gets
yes.
it.
This is it.
Totally understand.
I
I
didn't know
absolutely.
we were going with this, like at all. That's wow.
Brilliant.
I didn't think. I love it. I love it. That's.
So good.
What would you say is your moment?
I mean, I was gonna say like he's about to be 1, and like he's starting to really figure out crawling, and it's weird because it's I know like your kids are a little older. Well, 2 of your kids are older, so it's more like moments. You have like moments that they say things to you or do things now that really like sit with you.
Yeah.
But he's still learning everything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's he's definitely figured out that like mama. So he's just always calling for me. But it was one of those things. I was holding him the other night, and I was just looking at his little face, and I just was like, wow, we've been together almost a whole year, but I can't even remember life before you. Like, and I don't want to. Like, it's so
Yeah, no, it's wild.
real. It was just one of those, and I'm sure you know it, just one of those beautiful moments. You're sitting looking at your child, and you're like, I made this.
Yeah.
And like I'm taking care of them, and like I will know them the rest of my life, and
Yeah.
they change you so much, and you
For
don't
good.
real
Yeah.
for good. They change you for good, and but it was like it's not
No,
like
that's
doing
really good.
anything like specific. It's more just
Yeah.
in general, just like reflecting on this whole year and what it took for us to get here, and I'm just very grateful for
Yeah,
my
no, that ties in actually with my moment for the week,
Yeah.
which wasn't necessarily a moment either, but we celebrated Ethan's Gotcha Day, which is
Yeah.
like the day that he joined our family in Colombia. So he technically became a part of our family at the beginning of like official on paperwork in Colombia at the beginning of December. But in Colombia, when you're adopting, when you go down there, you have this sounds kind of wild, but you have like a 2 week period where it's almost like a trial period to see how like the child blends with your family, which is also bizarre because it's like that's a lot to figure out
A
within
lot.
2 weeks.
Literally.
But
That's a lot on the child too, to feel
oh, for
pressured
sure,
to,
yes,
blend quickly then instead of just naturally coming into it when you
totally.
feel ready to. But I mean, that's wow. That's a lot.
No, it's a lot for sure. But so that process, that 2 week period started on November 17th. And so we celebrated that day with him. It's exactly what you were just saying. Obviously, him joining our family looks different than how Luke and Zoe have joined our family biologically. But Ethan has been with our family for 4 years, which is also exciting because we've officially crossed the threshold where he's been with our family longer than he lived without our family because he was 3 when we
Right.
adopted him.
Right.
Um, but I also don't remember life before Ethan, and
Yeah.
that was only 4 years ago. But it's like he just like is so much ingrained into our family unit and a part of our family in the same way that each member of he got here differently for
Yeah.
sure, but
100%.
he's a part of this unit in the same way that each of us are a part of this unit, and
Yeah.
it's just like I don't remember what life was like before Ethan. I don't remember. I have a moment. It's easier to remember life before Zoe at this point because she's 5 months old
She's
and
tiny. Give her a little
yeah,
time.
and we've started over again with the baby thing, and so that has
Yeah.
been a journey for sure. But I mean, yeah, and even operating as a family of 5 now, it's true. Like it happens so quickly where you're just like that.
Whoa.
Imagining what life was like before feels so incomplete to
Yeah.
what life looks like now that you
Yeah.
can't even really like grasp that in your brain. It becomes so much a part of your identity to parent these kiddos that like you're like I don't know who I was before that. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, entirely. And like, what
yeah,
do I do with my time? Because
correct.
I
Right.
Yeah,
suddenly
that's the
was
biggest question.
tired.
I'm like, and I get to see glimpses of that now because my sister and her husband live 10 minutes away from us, and I'm just like, what is what is this life like? Like they don't have children.
Crazy. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
what?
well, and I can see what they do because like we'll go do something together and then part ways and then be like, okay, we're gonna meet back up in a little bit. And when we
Right.
meet back up, they're coming back and they're like showered and like fresh and like
Feeling
all of these
rejuvenated.
things. And I'm just
And you're
like,
like,
oh, my shower will end up tonight at like midnight
yeah.
or like
My
I don't.
self-care time is at 2 in the morning when everything
Correct.
else
Yeah.
is done. And then, I sleep for 4 hours and start all over again.
Yeah, but it's such. I mean, it's such a blessing. It is
It
truly the
is.
best thing in the world. Like seeing those moments where they call your name, or just wait until he can say like "love you,"
Oh,
and
I'm
like
gonna
that is,
die. I'm gonna
that's the
die.
best thing in the world.
It's
Um,
amazing. No, it's funny because a lot of people who don't have kids, they see parents, especially now. I feel like parents just load a lot of trauma onto the
yeah,
internet and oh, it's so terrible. And they only talk about the difficult parts, but truly, in my opinion, and I mean, I can't speak for all parents, but like the good so outweighs the
yeah.
hard parts.
Agreed.
And I would not change a single
Oh,
thing
absolutely.
about what it took to get him, what it takes to raise him.
Now,
Like,
as a person who commutes for work, and I have over an hour commute
Yeah.
back and forth every single day.
Yeah.
When I come home and Melinda is holding my son, and I open the door and his face goes,
Yes, it's the
Nothing
best thing
to
in
do.
the world.
everything.
Yeah, game over. Yeah, you're done.
It's like,
You
oh,
melt into a puddle.
that's it.
No,
that's all I
it
need.
is. It's truly the best thing in the world. It like makes life like worth it. I mean, and life was worth it beforehand for sure. And like, you know, there's obviously, and we could talk about this for so long.
This could be a whole episode.
Yeah, because we also all went through journeys just to get to the point where we are in having our kiddos for sure. You guys walked through things, and we also walked through things, and so it's like, not to like make anybody feel bad, because if you are in the place where you're wanting that feeling and are so desperate for that feeling, we have felt that as well. Yeah, and I hope with everything in me that that you will get to experience that one day, regardless of how that comes about and what that looks like. But it is true. Like, we trauma dump so much on the internet about being parents, and like, and don't get me wrong, it's freaking hard.
You're raising a whole human, and you have to make them a good human and make sure that they're getting everything they need to function. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a small task.
Well, and life is no longer about you, and it's not about you two really together as a couple as much anymore either, because you're functioning together, and it's important to also foster that relationship as much as you can, because one day our kids are going to be gone, and we're going to be like,
just us again. And
wait, what? Like,
my mom said that was weird for her, because she, now my brother and sister are finally getting a little older, and she's like, it's kind of me and your dad again. And she's like, and it was a little weird. We kind of, like, the house was empty, and we looked at each other, and we're just like, who are you?
That's what I really appreciate about the time I get to spend doing the show, doing
it gives
the
us
streams with
like
Mel,
a outlet
where we still have us time.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
We
No,
made it a priority to.
Francie and I joked when we did our episode together, where I was like, "This is the most that we're getting to talk in like a while." Like,
because it's like baby diaper, formula, bed.
Oh,
work.
totally. We are like, I mean, it is just, it's such a process and routine, and it makes those days feel long, but everyone always says like the days feel long, but then the weeks go by so quickly, and it's so true. Like, it just, time is flying by, but
it really is.
But every Friday I get paid.
That's what we go.
I love it. Yeah, it's true. But you're right. It's like it's so true that so many people have so many, like, we always want to talk about the hard parts, which is valid as well. Like, I'm glad that people are talking about those parts. Yeah. We don't want to feel alone in what we're going through.
Like, please tell me someone else isn't seeing
for sure. But it is true that it is like the biggest blessing in the world. Anyways, again, we could talk about that for so long.
We'll go on.
We do need to get into some wicked conversation. Before we do that, though, I do want to ask you guys the four questions that I'm going to ask everybody that comes onto the pod, and we'll start with, and feel free to take as long as you want on these, but it doesn't have to be a long explanation.
Let's go.
Favorite movie, and again, it doesn't have to be a Disney movie. It can be a Disney, and if that's how you approached it, because that's your brand, I totally understand. But favorite movie, we'll start with that question. What's your favorite movie?
That's really hard. Do you want me to go first?
I'm very boring, but I don't care.
Go for it.
Shawshank Redemption will always be my favorite movie.
You know what? I've never seen it.
It's phenomenal. It's a movie about friendship. It's a movie about getting through the hard times.
It's definitely a hard time.
It's so funny that with adaptations, and which is going to be really cool about how we're approaching this with Wicked. It wasn't even a novel. It was a novella written by Stephen King, and they blossomed it into a full-on feature-length film. And what's beautiful about it is, in its original commercial run, didn't do well. It wasn't until the VHS and all that stuff where it finally caught traction and became like known as one of the greatest movies of all time.
I need to see it.
It's good.
If you ever just, it's so weird that we're now in this day and age where you can't just watch it on cable. I mean, if you used to be, you're just kind of flipping through channels. Now it's like, what streaming service has it?
You're doing it. Yeah.
Google
But if you have like nothing on your docket and you have like 2 hours, watch it. It really is phenomenal.
I need to. I want to. It's a little bit of like a heavier storyline, correct? Like, there's like heavy moments to it.
Yes, there are heavy moments to it because it's about a person who is
incarcerated.
in prison,
In
going
prison.
through different decades. And
Yeah.
yes, there are heavier moments. I wouldn't say it's like a family-friendly film.
Correct.
It's definitely like PG-13, and there are like serious subject matter. But
Yeah.
if you are of age and you're looking for just a beautiful story about friendship and hope and faith and believing,
Love it.
oh, gets me every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would probably cry a lot. So
It's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
good one.
that's what I do.
I have a hard time. What do you think my favorite movie is?
Your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Probably Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And maybe that's basic, but it's
You
really
also
good.
love Pride and Prejudice.
And I do love Pride and Prejudice. Yeah.
Nice.
If I had to pick one that isn't Disney, it'd probably be that one.
You have a love for Disney princesses, hardcore.
Yes,
You
I
may or may not be friends with them from time to time.
Maybe. Cannot confirm nor deny.
But yeah, they that totally makes sense. You're
Yeah, they mean a lot to me.
strong passion for Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, totally. And that's not a basic answer. That did it win the Academy
It
Award?
was nominated.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
Yeah, nominated.
It was nominated.
It was the first
Animated.
animated Best Picture nominee.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like the big thing. Yeah.
That's when they like invented the category, right?
No, it was still Best Picture.
Oh wow.
Period.
Oh, it was nominated for Best Picture as an animated.
Period as
Yes.
an animated film. Yeah.
Got it.
Which,
So
in my
eventually they
opinion, is
needed
even more
to.
impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Because it
They
doesn't
probably-
happen all that often. The only two I can think of off the top of my head is Beauty and the Beast and Toy Story 3. Off the very top of my head is like two animated movies in just the Best Picture category.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
it
wonder
happens more
if-
often, but those are the two that come to mind.
Beauty and the Beast, I think, was 91 because it was
Yeah.
the year I was born. I wonder if that was the year Titanic.
No, because Titanic was like 97.
Later. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of what other movie would have been in 91 that would have beaten.
I
it.
think.
Anyways.
I think it was Silence of the Lambs.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, I mean, how can you even compare the
Correct.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that's just
But
like
the fact that it would made it to that category in and of itself.
yeah,
is-
that's like
Yeah,
insane
right.
enough. And I'll take it. All right. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a reward in itself.
I love
So but yeah. Love
I love
me
it.
some Belle. Love me some
Yeah.
Belle.
Well, that kind of chimes into the next question, which is favorite animated character. Would you say Belle is your favorite animated character?
It's gonna be a bit of a controversy, but yeah, the older I get, I'm kind of moving away from the Little Mermaid, and
Yeah.
I think Belle is definitely cinching that top spot now.
Yeah. I love Belle.
Yeah.
Francie's favorite princess, so
Yeah, she's
I'm
just,
Ryan.
ugh.
I'm totally going to deviate from what me and Mel discussed. My favorite animated character is Goku
I
from
love
Dragon
it.
Ball. He's a guy who just pushes past his limits, always is there for his friends. You know, he's the guy who saves the day. You know, when I'm thinking about moments in my childhood and the guy
You
goes
love-
Super
yeah.
Saiyan for the first time is such like a cornerstone memory,
Mm-hmm.
and every kid in the world wanted to do that. It's just he really is. It's just like he is the GOAT, and his author died last year.
He did
And
recently,
that
yeah.
hit me real hard. That
Yeah.
really hit me.
It was your childhood.
Yeah, you know, it was one of those things I grew up watching. I still play the games and all that
He
stuff.
does all the
Yeah,
time.
I would totally say that Goku's my favorite.
I love that. That's awesome.
Plus, when you want to go to the gym and you're just like, all right, gotta
Super
get body
Saiyan.
goals.
I love it. That's like outside of the box, which I
Definitely
appreciate.
outside the box.
Yeah. All right, favorite theme park, and this doesn't have to be a Disney park,
It's
although
gonna be a Disney book.
yeah, and it doesn't also have to be Walt Disney World. It could be coast to coast as well.
I love Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my-
I really love Disney.
Coast to coast, that's my favorite.
I would say in Orlando it'd be Epcot.
It would be Epcot. If we're talking Orlando, especially because Mick's not old enough for him to appreciate like MK yet. I think once he is, we'll probably
Yeah.
switch a bit. But as adults going to a park right now, we do enjoy Epcot.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah.
my top three are Disneyland,
Yeah,
Universal Studios, Hollywood,
that one's really cool.
Epcot.
Yeah,
Because the tour sells it.
the tour.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I don't think people appreciate Hollywood enough. Like, I understand that park itself may not be the best park.
It's not as grandiose, but like
No,
so
but
cool.
the tour, like, where do you get to experience going
Anything
on
like
an
that.
actual, like, a lot, and not just a lot, but the universal lot, where like
Yeah.
so many iconic films
It's
have
so
been made.
cool.
Mhm. Like the
It's
It is
set
the
of
coolest
the Bates Motel.
They showed you
yeah.
the Back to the Future drop too. Like they
Yeah.
have the whole town section. I mean, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
the War of the Worlds plane.
Yes.
War of the Worlds.
That was so
The
cool.
only part I hated was the Fast and Furious. They're
Yeah.
really so determined to make that a part of everything. I'm like, when are we gonna let that just go?
I don't know if they're getting rid of that component or not, actually. I should know the answer to this. But they're building a Fast and Furious roller coaster, which looks very cool. The cars are, like, they move similar to what
Oh, that's cool.
Cosmic Rewind, or, yeah.
Yeah, Cosmic
Yeah,
Rewind.
Cosmic Rewind.
Why did I just
You're
blank?
like, no, yes.
Oh, brain glitch. Yeah, similar to what Cosmic Rewind does, but with cars. That should be cool. That's another franchise that I've never seen a movie, though. I've never seen a Fast and
I'm
Furious.
not really interested, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's
I
about
think
family.
Try to make it happen.
about family.
That's awesome. You guys haven't been to Epic Universe yet, though, and you need to. Do
We
that.
will rectify that.
We're hoping when we do this April
you go in
trip that
April.
we're really hoping we
To do
can
one day in Epic.
that we could do at least one day in Epic. And-
Hopefully by then they'll have passes. Like,
yeah, that's
we
the
can-
hope. That's the.
I'm hoping I can add that to my pass so that I can then, like, join you guys for that day.
That would be.
Yeah,
really
no,
great.
that'd be
It's
awesome.
hard to do right now because we have to pay for tickets, and because we spend so much money on all of our annual passes, it's like we can't necessarily, like, add that. So if you go, I will join.
Heck yeah!
All right.
That would be great. That would be. Awesome.
And then favorite attraction.
Carousel of Progress.
Oh, good.
I love the carousel.
don't
I
know.
love it.
This is hard for me.
History right there.
Favorite attraction.
Are you excited for them adding Walt to it, or do you feel like nervous about that?
It's a yes and a no. The yes
Loaded
is because I am all in favor of updating the attraction.
Yeah.
But what I would propose, and I think I've said this on an episode,
Yeah.
rather than making Walt an animatronic, I think that they should go with a hologram instead, because that has less opportunities for failure.
Yeah.
Because what we're seeing is, there are these people, and we're in the age of cameras. When the Walt Disney animatronic went down in Disneyland, people take pictures, and it's almost
Yeah.
like, to me, it almost feels like by documenting that, it's a mockery of the man. And I
Yeah.
think that it's either the hologram works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And
I
if
can-
it's
I can see
down,
that.
just do the voiceover, and
Right.
that's where I would like to see it, and that's very much like a push to the future for Walt, and that's why I
Yeah.
personally have that opinion.
Yeah, it's good. I can see that. I think I get why doing an animatronic of all people of Walt also makes sense, because you're I mean, the man came up with it, like
Literally.
I mean, not, like, putting that into a theme park was his thing. And so I get it, but I can see that for sure. And also, so many people hated on the animatronic at Disneyland when it first was released. And that's also a bummer to see. I haven't seen it in person. I can't wait to see it in person one day. And I've heard that in person, people like it so much more, but we'll see. But I get you.
Yeah.
Mal?
Yeah. I guess I really like Cosmic Rewind as like a thriller attraction. I do love roller coasters, so
Yeah.
I do enjoy that quite a lot. But then if I'm being like honest about like what one I'm always gonna do, it's the Little Mermaid ride. It's terrible. Like, I can admit it. It's not great,
It's a personal preference.
It's a personal preference. So
my
like,
opinion.
actual, like legit, like, oh, this is a really good ride. Like Cosmic Rewind is fantastic. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. But like as a personal must do, it's the Little Mermaid.
You want to
I
sit
love
on
it.
that seashell?
I want to sit on that seashell and I want to see Zaddy Triton and I just want to live my life. Okay, it's just
You do you. I love that though. I appreciate when people have a favorite attraction that is like it goes against the grain of everybody else's favorite.
entirely. Everyone's
Because
like,
it's your personal preference.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
enjoy. I wish they'd fix it, to be honest. But it's not the priority, and I guess I have to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see it expand, unfortunately.
Well, not even expand. Like, just fix it. Like, I
Yeah.
wish like Ariel's just every time I go in, I feel like one of her eyes is like this, or like someone's hair is falling.
It wasn't
off,
moving
or-
the last time I was on it.
She glitches out a lot,
Yeah.
and I think it's just it was the type of animatronic they were using, and they used a different type of material, like a pliable, and it just they need to just fix them. I hope that happens.
Paige, we just had Mickey and Minnie's birthday this week.
Yeah.
And you guys probably know this, but something cool happens at The Little Mermaid on Mickey's birthday every year for about like 5 minutes around noon, where in the queue a hidden Mickey appears, like where the light
Through
casts.
the
Ah,
through
that's
the
cool.
stones. Yeah.
Yeah,
It casts a
yeah,
shadow on the queue. I think
yeah.
it's so cool.
So cool.
So
I wanted to
random.
go and then I forgot about it, and then I saw someone post about it today, and I was like, oh,
You're
well,
like, well, dang it. Maybe
yeah,
next year.
correct. All right, we did it. We made it. We're only 40 minutes in, but we made it. Well, let's talk about Wicked. So,
Yeah.
Wicked for Good, the Act Two. Do they consider it Act Two in the stage production?
Yes, it is Act
Yes.
Two.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is all
Act
Act Two.
Two of the stage production
Hmm.
made into a film. Is the book split into two parts?
No, so if you're looking at like, are you talking the actual novel?
Yes, the novel.
No, it is just one book. There are sequels. So after this, there's also a book by Elphaba's, spoiler alert, son.
Yeah,
And I'm forgetting at
heard
the
this.
moment if it's 2 or 3 books. It might have been a series of 3. I never read the sequel though. To be honest, the book is really, really dark.
Son of a, yeah. The is it like the sequel? I
Son of a
heard.
Witch,
Yeah. Is it Son of a Witch? Or
y-
and
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Because we can get into all of this,
Hmm.
but okay, we'll bookmark that. We'll get back to it. I've heard the book is very dark. I've heard
Very dark.
that like it's a very heavy read. In fact, most people don't recommend it because it can be triggering for a lot of people. There's a lot
Yes.
of like very intense moments in the book. For sure.
Yeah, like trigger warning to anything you can think of.
Yeah,
There is a lot in this, and I don't even want to mention it on your podcast because it
yeah,
would get flagged.
yeah.
It's
It's bad.
definitely it's
Not bad, but it's just
no,
very
it,
heavy.
it's very heavy, and I think people pick up the book thinking, "Oh, it's just the musical," and I think that's what my mom thought when she gave it to me at like 13. Was like, "Oh, it's the musical
Right.
it's written,"
Yeah.
and then I start reading it, and I was like.
What is it?
What's
Mom,
going
do we
on?
talk about this? Yeah.
And my mom to this day, like, she's just like, if I knew,
No
I
one knew,
would
yeah.
have
Well, this is a
never.
good opportunity to tell all of you because this was a conversation that a lot of people had last year when the
Yeah,
movie was released. Yeah, this is not a children's read,
it is
so
not
like
a children's read. Do
not
not
a,
give this to
or
your
even
child.
adolescent. Like this is not a book that you're wanting to get your kid to read for Christmas. So don't do that.
No.
I would not recommend it. I mean, I think I was too young to be honest, and that's like a personal preference. You're a parent, you have to make your own decisions, but I think I was too young to be reading
Yeah,
it for sure. And I read
that's
it
fine.
once, and I put it down, and I never read it again.
I'll go on a limb and say, don't do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, look, it has its place, and
Yeah.
it's
Oh, totally.
definitely it's very introspective, and there's a lot you could take from it, but also there's just a lot of disturbing things about it, and I do think we've maybe evolved past having to read some of those things to
Correct.
be
Well,
able
and
to.
I think a lot of material that we see in media today evolved from stuff like that in
Yeah,
general. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, all of the fairy tales, not
Yeah, the
all,
Grimm
a lot of
yeah,
the
brothers.
fairy tales
pretty
that we
pretty dark.
know
Let's put
were
it this way to reference back to being millennials. You will not see this at the Scholastic Book Fair.
correct.
No, no, you will not.
You'll have your
still
own
exist.
golden book version
It
of
says
Wicked, the movie.
yeah,
So,
no, not this version. Maybe
yeah,
the cute little golden books, but you're not going to get this version, and I wouldn't pick it up if
Which
you're,
we did buy make a golden book.
we did get him the Wicked
I
golden
love
book, but
it. Of
yeah,
course,
of
you
course
have.
you have to do it. Have to.
So let's talk about the movie. So
Yeah.
this picks up where the last movie ended, where Elphaba has been deemed wicked, the Wicked Witch, and she has been deemed that because she decided to go against the grain, and wanted to essentially expose the wizard for who he actually is. And so now, I always get her name wrong, Madame
Morrible.
Morrible. I don't
So
know why
instead
that's
of
so
horrible, it's just with an M.
Morrible. Got it.
Morrible.
I like
Alliteration.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Madame Morrible, she is really leading the charge on painting, in the movie at least, on leading the charge in painting Elphaba to be a villain, a wicked witch. And that is because she's going against what Madame Morrible's original plan was. Glenda has decided to not speak out against the wizard. Not necessarily abandon her friendship either. She still has love and respect for Elphaba and understands why Elphaba is doing what she's doing, but Glinda's not someone at this point who is going to really go against the grain. That's kind of what she's always had, and we learn more about this in the second movie. But she has always been someone who has had expectations to be good and to do the right thing, and so I think she's just adhering to that at this point. And this is at the end of the first movie, but definitely still has such a love for Elphaba and a respect for her as well, and cares for her well-being, like wants to know that she's okay.
Absolutely.
Fiyero is you start to see it in the first movie where he is starting to think and really think outside of himself and think about what's happening at large and is siding with Elphaba. You see that with like the lion cub scene, and not just side with Elphaba, but side with Elphaba because
Yes. Yes, indeedy.
developing some feelings for her as well, which we could kind of see at the end of the first
Yeah,
movie.
it was
Yeah.
hinted. It was hinted.
So, yeah, it picks up, but it's not like. And so this is one of my questions.
Yeah.
What is the actual time frame between Act 1 and Act 2, or the first movie and they say it at the beginning of the movie where it's like something 12 time.
12. It was. She said something. It was probably the equivalent of a year. It seems like in the
Yeah.
movie is what.
There's
it
been
was
time.
like.
There's
There has
definitely
been
been time because
in the
Go ahead.
musical, it's not disclosed. It's
Yeah.
just you figure
Time
it's-
has passed.
Time has passed
On the
It's been
dragon
several-
clock.
The time dragon clock has passed. Yeah, there's more time has passed.
And
but
the-
they don't specific.
the musical or this like the stage production, is there a do they have a what is the word I'm looking for? Like a break? What's the word?
Intermission.
Oh, intermission. Yes,
Intermission.
There's an intermission.
Yes.
There
you
is an
have-
intermission between
Yeah.
Act 1 and Act 2. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so much.
So it's like Defying Gravity happens. You have like a half hour,
Blackout.
then you go right back into the.
It's not even a half hour. It's like 15 minutes. You get a 15-minute intermission between
Run to the
Act 1 and Act
bathroom.
2. Run to the bathroom, come back, sit down, start Act 2. Yeah.
We got a year
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the movies.
Which I think almost worked against it a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But okay, so it picks up, the movie picks up, and we don't have to do a full like recap of the plot,
Breakdown of
but
every single thing. Yeah.
yeah, but what's going on is Elphaba is doing what she wanted to do from the beginning, which is save the animals. The animals in Oz are being put into captivity, being led by the wizard, because they are deemed dangerous and things that you can't trust. Putting them into captivity is taking away their ability to speak. Elphaba, the theming here, and we won't go down this road, but the theming here is very political
Yes.
Yeah.
and sends very great messages about caring for those who need help
Yes.
and caring for those who may not be able to speak for themselves. All messages that I myself 100% stand behind and back for sure. But there's definitely really good, strong messages about making sure that the marginalized are protected for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in the movie, in the play. And so Elphaba's leading the charge on that by herself because no one else is
Which is
supporting
another great message of just because you're right doesn't mean it's necessarily popular.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
going against the
100%.
grain.
Going
and, like,
against the grain of what's,
and going
you know,
against the status quo to do what's
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
that's
She's
all her
literally
trying to
doing
do.
it by herself.
literally
Like,
doing it. She is the only one doing it. She is the
Yeah.
only one bothering
even
to try.
even the marginalized
Are
are-
like leaving and
correct. And there's a moment in the movie where she looks at them and she's like, fight with me, like fight against the wizard, and they're like, it's too dangerous, like we're not, we can't, that's a battle that we don't think we can win, and as much as we appreciate your support, like we can't do this. And so that's heartbreaking to see because she's trying so hard to do all of these things and she's just like, hold on a second, the people that I'm fighting for are not even going to stand alongside of me to fight. So all of these things are happening. And Elphaba has always obviously been on the outside looking in, and so it's not new to her. It's something that she feels used to, for sure. But yeah, so we've got all of that going on. We've got Fiyero and Glinda and their relationship quote unquote relationship developing.
Relationship.
It's definitely a relationship that is being painted by the powers that be to be sort of this arranged marriage. Literally, Fiyero is like, I didn't even know that we were getting married. Is that the same in the
Oh yeah,
stage production
yeah.
as well?
It's literally. Thank goodness is the first number of Act Two, and I will say there's definitely some pacing differences that I'm not a huge fan of, but I get why they did it. But it's just, I feel like there was some momentum issues, but that's just a personal thing. But literally the
I want
line,
to talk about that though because I have thoughts.
100%.
Yeah.
But literally one of the lines is literally like, surprise, and it's not a party to celebrate the Yellow Brick Road being done because it wasn't done in the musical.
Nope.
They were still working on it. It
Okay.
literally was a surprise engagement party.
Wow.
So all of a
That
sudden,
Fiyero had
congratulations.
no idea he
guys.
was like that's what was happening for
Yeah,
him.
so literally that was the whole point of that party. It wasn't originally to celebrate the wizard and his Yellow Brick Road. It was because they were getting engaged.
Right.
Yes.
And Glinda obviously has feelings for Fiyero, but I almost would argue to say that it's more about who he is and the status of it all and the optics of it all than it is really like who they are. But this is where I want to get into all of that because
Would you say it's very Gaston mindset? It's just like, I'm the best. Don't I deserve the best?
Correct.
Yeah, like
Correct.
it's like we fit together. Well, I mean, they even say in Act One, like you're perfect, so we're perfect
This
together.
makes sense.
Like it's just like, oh,
yeah,
we're
it's like
meant
the
to click.
stereotypical like high school quarterback finding the varsity cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
With them like that is the couple. Yeah, like very stereotypical for sure. So that you have that storyline continuing, but then Elphaba is continuing to try to fight against the wizard to expose him for who he is, which is a liar. And then you also have Nessa, Elphaba's younger sister, who has taken over as governor of Munchkin Land.
Yeah.
Is that the same in the stage production as well? Okay, because Elphaba's father, I say it here, spoiler alert. He has passed away out of shame for what Elphaba has done, which is also not surprising because the man was a loser anyways. Because
Terrible.
he always felt shame, I think, of Elphaba, and that is
It's get
frustrating.
him over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, frustrating in and of itself. But Nessa is sort of governing by herself. She gets a visit from Elphaba, and this is where things I feel like really start to pick up because.
Yeah.
Elphaba, and I've heard that there's some differences between what the movie did here compared to what the stage production was, where Elphaba in the movie helps Nessa to sort of fly for a second.
Yeah.
Whereas I've heard in the stage production, doesn't Nessa walk?
She
Yes.
does. So, and I mean, there's so many.
Well, it's also a physical limitation of the actress.
Yeah, and
Correct.
there's so many nuances to this. Like, and I was saying this to John is like, I can't speak for the disabled community. Like, I can't speak for people who are in wheelchairs and wheelchair bound. The general consensus, and you know, I could see why, is they say that Nessa being so against it, basically in the stage show, and it still is. She hates being in a wheelchair. She hates feeling like everybody constantly has to help her and she can't do anything by herself. So she has this deep-rooted hatred for being stuck to this chair. And kind of where Elphaba can accept her differences at some
Heck,
point.
that's even a lyric. It's because I'm in this chair.
It's
and you
because
felt
I'm in
sorry
this
for me.
chair and you feel sorry for me, and that's why you're asking me out. So like she just knows that everyone does things for her only because of the chair.
Right.
And where Elphaba accepts her differences at some point and realizes I'm always going to be green, like this is just who I am. Nessa can never fully wrap her brain around the fact that like she will always be in the chair.
Yeah.
So that is why in the stage show, Elphaba decides to magic the shoes so that she can get up and walk. And she's like, finally, from these powers, something good. Like my sister is able to be mobile, and that's amazing. And look at this magic, and that's what gets her so excited. In the stage show, in the movie, they say, I just want to capture the feeling of being happy again, so they levitate her.
Yeah. I feel like maybe this was a way of them saying that to be more accepting of those who are in a wheelchair.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. I don't have no issue with that.
Yeah,
Like,
to your
that
point,
makes
the
sense.
actress who is playing Nessa herself uses a wheelchair, and so I do think I love that they cast someone who can represent that community well
Mhm.
in
Not someone faking it. I mean, look, I
Yeah.
mean, when you're in a Broadway show, there are limitations, even though I will say that
Sure.
Nessa right now is a wheelchair user as well, but
Yeah.
she does have some use of her legs. So she does do the stand and fall
Yeah.
every day.
Got
So
it.
that must be really hard for her. And she's talked about how she's choreographed it a little differently for her because she does have limitations, you know?
Yeah.
But she's the first actress they've ever used that uses a wheelchair. You
Correct.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that took 21 years. So I
Yeah.
mean, you
See,
know.
and
I do think it's cool. I think it's cool that like Alphaba also says like, "Oh, my powers! Like I finally did something good with them."
Mhm.
When Nessa is like flying,
Happy.
and
Yeah.
she alludes to that in what she says about how it was like when her and Bach were dancing was when she felt like she was flying. So then she wanted to feel like she was flying again.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing happens, and then Bach is knocking on the door, and he's like, Nessa. And she's like, oh, he's calling me Nessa again.
Mhm.
Which there was tension between Nessa and Bach at this point, which also, Bach and Nessa, Bach was only going after Nessa because Glinda told him to do that.
Yeah.
Glenda only told him to do that so that she could get him off her case so that she could go after Fiera.
Yeah.
So, like, none of this was ever real anyways, but Bach is coming to approach Nessa to tell her, oh, I've got to go confess my feelings for Glinda before this marriage happens, with the expectation that something is going to happen there. Nessa essentially, like, prevents that from happening with her new order of not allowing Munchkins to travel to Oz without her authorization, which is so wild.
Is it so funny that all the rest of the governors are like, okay, just animals, and so she, no. Munchkins,
Munchkins
and
animals.
Yeah.
Can't-
Is that in the stage production as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And
But it's a throwaway line.
It's a throwaway. Well, not really a throwaway line, but obviously the stage show can't show everything a movie can.
Right.
So instead of seeing cut scenes where you see him go to the station, figure it out, and then come back, in the stage show, it's literally just when Elphaba comes to the governor's mansion, Bach confronts Elphaba and says, "She's as wicked as you are. She won't let us leave anymore. We're stuck here." So
Yeah.
like that's how they portray that instead.
Yeah.
When and someone told me this as well. Is it in the book maybe that Nessa forces Bach to marry her essentially?
That's in the book.
Yeah.
I believe that's in the book.
Yeah.
I want to.
So essentially, we know based on the Wizard of Oz that Nessa is known as the Wicked Witch of the East. And so there has to be something that makes her evil, and that is alluded to in the movie by her controlling Bach. I think one of the things as a person who's not seen the stage production and is getting exposed to this storyline for the first time through the film, I wanted more. I wanted to see more of Nessa being evil, not even just to Bach, but in general. I feel like I wish that I could have seen more of those moments so that I could have an understanding of like why that was such a big deal. But also Nessa's character in general, to me, obviously we know her fate. She gets crushed by the house that Dorothy is in.
Kind of sucks.
But even that moment to me, I felt sort of, and when Elphaba goes to see the house and to see what has happened to her sister, it just fell a little flat for me, honestly. Like in that. And I know that everyone says that the stage production happens so much faster anyways.
Rapid fire.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Rapid fire act too.
Which the movie sort of felt like that to me as well. But obviously it's a movie, so it's slowed down compared to the stage production. But I just wanted more context. I wanted more context of like there's a scene in the movie where they do a flashback and it's of Nessa, Bach, Elphaba, Linda, and Fiero all like walking in this meadow, and it's probably while they're at Shiz together that they're all just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And I wish that we would have, because it's just a scene where there's no dialogue. It's just like like you're just seeing them, and it's not really even them totally interacting with each other except for Elphaba and Glinda. But like I wish that we could have had more flashbacks of them all together at Shiz so that we could have a deeper appreciation and understanding. And again, this is someone who's getting exposed to these characters for the first time.
Yeah.
To have an understanding of like why does this matter? Why does, because Glinda goes to the house to pay her respects to Nessa, and I'm like, all that I know is that Glinda and Nessa barely interacted with one another. Glinda basically only used Nessa to get Bach off her back. So, like, why does Glinda care so much about Nessa's death? And when Elphaba finally makes it to go and see what's happened to her sister, we don't even really get to see that moment, which that also makes sense to me because in The Wizard of Oz, that scene is handled so differently. Like, she's very wicked in that scene, and so it's different. But I wanted to see Elphaba be more sad about Nessa, and we didn't even really get that. Like, she's angry.
Yeah. Oh,
and we get that later.
Yeah. You definitely get the anger, but the sadness was missing.
Really inspiring me about now, and this is a completely original thought based off of your perception.
Yeah.
We were complaining about the amount of time at this point to get those answers and fill the gap. This is where you have your Peacock original series to kind of be like the lost time, and you have like this transition. So then when you catch up with Act 2, you don't necessarily need it, but it gives you that little extra context.
Yeah. I think I feel like with the second movie, the first movie was almost 3 hours. The second movie was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Roughly, it was something like that. I can look up specifically.
I think we could have added more. I have no problem with them adding more to the runtime of this movie to give more context and more scenes that give a deeper context and a deeper understanding of the emotion in this film, because it is such an emotional movie. But as someone who's never been exposed to these characters before, I'm just like, I see this matters to you, and I don't know why. You know, like
2 hours and 17 minutes, and it is 23 minutes shorter than the 2 hour and 40-minute runtime of the first movie.
Yeah.
And then comparison to the musical, it's 13 minutes shorter than the full stage production.
Right.
So that's kind of crazy.
I just feel like we could have gotten like more depth. Like I'm fine adding another 20 minutes to this movie. I would have been fine with that if it gave me the opportunity to see Elphaba really spiral about Nessa's death. Because as much as her and her sister had their issues, her sister mattered to her because she was like, I did something good with my magic for my baby sister who treats me like crap anyways, but I did something good with my magic. That was a moment where because we went from Nessa's dead to the girls
fighting about
which like is fine. That was fun, and that was a funny thing to see because you could tell that they were fighting, but they weren't. It was almost like sisters going at it.
Yeah, they weren't like really fighting, but it was
no.
Yeah.
And Glinda obviously is like heartbroken. All of this happens when after Fiero and Elphaba have their moment, which also felt a little awkward to me.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It just was a little awkward to me because, again, someone who is being exposed to these characters for the first time, you've got a wedding scene happening where Fiero and Glinda are about to get married, and then this huge thing happens with the animals, and then one thing leads to the next where Fiero confesses his love for Elphaba, and the two of them leave together to go to Elphaba's oasis.
Yeah, her oasis, her treehouse oasis in the woods. Yes.
But that also would have, I think, made more sense to me if we had gotten more flashbacks from Shiz to see more of a development of a connection between Fiero and Elphaba. Because we have one scene of that with the cub scene in the first movie.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Fiero is having feelings for Elphaba. But it went from, I'm about to marry this girl to see ya. And also now we're like really consummating our relationship together.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
And that is kind of, look, I found it weird that some of the parts they chose to expand on so much. Like, I felt like the beginning of the film went so slow. Like, we were in the same opening number for a while, and it was just like, what is going on? So I felt like they focused too much on the wrong things to, like, expand on, where it did miss out on things that they could have improved on. Because Act 2 in Wicked is famously very fast, and they have to wrap up a lot of things very quickly, and you kind of have to just bridge gaps for yourself a little bit. That's definitely where the book falters a little. So it's one of those things where, you know, we didn't need Wonderful to be like 10 to 15 minutes where the wizard's singing to
Right.
Elphaba. That could have been shortened because that's not the song anyone cares about, okay?
Yeah.
Like, can we move past that?
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
could have had more time with Fiero or more time with Nessa.
Yes.
Because, you know, it would have been something to benefit the show. And that's definitely where we felt kind of like, huh.
Yeah, which
Okay.
not to take away from any of this, because obviously the stage show has been around for
21
20
years.
and is a hit. Like, I'm not trying to take away and stand on this
It has
pedestal and
its
say like,
moments.
hey, like, what the heck? But it obviously is very successful, and this movie is going to be successful because people are going to go see it. It is interesting to me. The first movie got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep.
So far, this one, and again, this is going to change as more people see it, but right now, this one is a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
and that actually makes sense to me. Like,
That makes sense.
yeah, I liked the first movie better. Francie liked the second movie better. Luke, I took him to see it tonight. He says the second movie by far. But I think that's because there was more action happening in the second movie.
We like seeing her beat people up.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, all right.
But I don't know. I craved so much more. I felt such a connection to the characters in the first movie. And I felt so much for Elphaba, and I felt so much for Glinda when in Ozdust when they have their moment together.
100%. Oh my god.
And I think I would have felt more like No Good Deed rips. Like, it is such a good
so
song.
good. I was like, and we're here. We're
Yes,
doing
she
it.
crushed it. But I think I would have been even more angry for her if I had a deeper appreciation for her and Fiero's relationship. And like, Elphaba, honestly, in some ways, kind of got lost to me in the second movie.
I agree. I thought emotionally they kind of. Here's the issue: is like Elphaba as a character pretty much is the same from the start to the end, and that's always been kind of the crux with her.
Yeah.
Is I think everyone just looks at her songs and wow, she's amazing, she's perfect, but really there are some flaws in her character development because she really is always just doing what's right. There's never really any budging for her.
No.
Where Glinda goes through this whole transformation of being, you know, vapid, popular schoolgirl into someone who genuinely wants to do good. And I don't think Glinda was ever really vindictive. She just needed to grow up.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like, you
She
see.
thought she was doing good. She wasn't.
She was doing good by just being who she was because that's what everyone told her was good. So it's like she figured it out.
Yeah,
so,
really, Elphaba's character arc is she was an outcast who needs to discover who she is, but then really the final stepping point is not only am I accepting who I am going to accept the public persona of what people perceive me to
Oh yeah, that is one of the character arcs for her that in this movie is. Yes, absolutely. She says it when her and Theo are having their moment where she's like, "I finally feel wicked," and then No Good Deed is to me the moment where she's just like, "I think I'm doing the right thing, but it ain't working, so screw it." like I'm done. This is done. I'm just gonna. If this is what they expect of me, then game on. That's what you're gonna get.
That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I think she's finally realized, like, in life there will always be a villain, and they have painted me as this villain, and they need this villain, so guess what?
Right.
I'm gonna be your villain, you know?
Yeah. And I just like to get back to As Long as You're Mine for a second, because I was so disappointed by that number.
Yeah.
Look, make it PG-13.
PG. That's your
It
that's
should have
your
been
problem.
PG-13.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the stage show had more tension and romantic energy than that number did, and it had no business to be like that.
Well, I felt so comfortable taking Luke to see the movie because it was so PG. But had it been more, then it might have been a question mark, and that's okay with me. Like, there's a moment where she starts singing, and this is what my friend told me, that when that number starts, they're next to each other. Like, they are together.
They're literally, it's actually kind of a joke amongst, like, Broadway circles, is, like, it's the easiest stage song because they're just screaming in each other's faces. But, like, here's the thing, is, like, she's wearing, like, a negligee kind of nightie with this weird cardigan thing, and he's taking off his clothes. That's not in the stage show. She is in her full beaded dress that is like 30 pounds and is like going down to the floor, like fully clothed. He's fully clothed. all they're doing is like they're just like this the whole
Singing to
time,
each other.
and they're
Yeah.
singing
It's
and they're
very
holding each other's
intimate.
faces. It's just a very
Right.
intimate
Which
number.
it took so long for them to get intimate
Even
in
in
that
the same space, they just like it's like the lyrics.
Yeah, she's singing like
themselves.
there's a lyric like something about like kiss me.
Too fiercely,
Yeah.
Yeah,
too tight.
but she's
And
not even like next to him. He's like
No,
looking,
he's on the other side of the room.
and not even just that. He's not even looking at her. He's like looking at all of her artifacts. So
he's
like,
like looking at like the propaganda pages on her table.
Yeah.
He's like,
Part
yeah.
of me thinks that they did do another. There's a conspiracy theory in me that's wondering, like, okay,
They did
they
the really
shot two different
the
sequences.
hot version.
They did the PG one and the PG
steamy
13,
one.
and
Yeah.
depending on how part one was gonna go, they're
would-
like,
would
okay,
determine the part two.
if part one doesn't do as well as we think it's gonna do,
We
we
can do
can
the steamy
make
version.
part two PG 13 because we're not gonna have this like crazy big audience. But because they just did a PG movie and it was a highly successful PG movie, like let's
That's
just
what they
do
were
it this
anyway.
way. You know, let's
Yeah,
get the
because
kids in
it's-
here. Let's get the families in here.
I mean, they could. I haven't seen a ton of films with Cynthia Erivo, but Francie and I have watched all of Bridgerton, and Jonathan Bailey was just voted as sexiest man alive.
Yeah, he was.
In Bridgerton, I mean, that's about as steamy as it can get.
Yeah.
And like, he could have gotten there, you know. Like,
The man is capable. We know
he has it in him. Yeah. So I don't.
It was, yeah. And
It
it
felt-
didn't
yeah.
have to be, it didn't, I don't know why they had her in like a nightie. I'm like, you could have had them keep their clothes on. There
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
even a point.
They could have
Because
just
they
sang
could
to
have
each
just
other.
had them doing literally what they do on stage, and I would have understood the passion for each other
Yeah.
way more than whatever that was. And
Yeah,
that
it felt a
really
little
did-
awkward.
It felt awkward staging, and I was like, do you not want to touch each other? Like, do we have to have a conversation? Like, are we a little embarrassed? Is this like a giggle tea?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
touch them.
Yeah.
They're a boy, they're a girl. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like,
It happened eventually.
but it took
and-
a really long time.
Yeah, and by then it was just so
Like playing a song
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. That was
That-
that was an interesting moment for sure, and that's where things start to spiral. We get No Good Deed because he stands in the gap to help, which is also a really special moment as well, where Glinda has this realization of like, oh, he like loves her. And that to me was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, he really does love her. You know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't, and unfortunately for me at that point, they're not around each other again until the end of the movie. So it's like, I don't know. That was an interesting thing to experience. But to me, for part two, for good or act two, this is Glinda's moment to shine in a lot of ways. It's a moment where we get to see her character develop, and I think Ariana Grande absolutely crushed it. Like again,
Sobbing. Every scene, this girl was crying. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
she's
is
been,
she
she's been
okay?
sobbing since then in like every interview that she does. And
Literally.
everything.
I'm like, is she emotionally doing all right? Because
Yeah.
all she did on set was sob. I'm like,
Yeah.
this poor girl, like, doesn't catch a break. Like, the whole
No,
movie.
but I think again, I don't know Glinda. I don't know like the role. I don't know like how she is in the stage production or anything. But to me, I even saw what is it, Kristen
Chenoweth.
Chenoweth. I even saw like her, and again, I didn't see her in the stage production, but I've seen movies and I know that actress.
Yeah.
I saw Ariana channel her at times as well, which I thought was a lot of fun.
There definitely was some inspiration for Kristen Chenoweth's performance.
Yeah.
I really was very impressed by Ariana Grande. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
I really am for what they were working with, and like I said, there was definitely some weird pacing things and scriptorial things like we've been discussing. Like I think she did the absolute best
With the
what she
material that
given.
was given. Yep.
And she really
And the direction.
and the direction. Like she really did the best she could with every moment she was there. And that is because she has such a deep love and respect for the material, and it's quite obvious in
Yeah.
every moment that she's there that like this means the world to her, which
For
is
sure.
great. I mean, that's a great thing to see. Do I think her song was awkward? Like, yeah, but
Yeah.
like,
The bubble one.
the bubble
or
one
Yeah.
was placed weirdly. It just
I
it's a
just feel like
momentum issue.
yeah, there was just like there was time spent on things like you said. There was time spent on things that didn't have to be spent on those things
Yeah.
where you could have utilized that time to give me more because it's a movie. Because it's a movie now, you have the flexibility of giving us flashbacks, of giving us extra
More
dialogue.
context.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's the only thing that I feel like and I say all of this, it sounds super critical. I thought the movie overall was great. Like, I've seen it twice now. I'll definitely watch it again. I was happy with it again. I don't feel like I'm super qualified to say that because I've never seen the stage production. But I was very entertained throughout the movie, for sure. I was never bored. And that's even the second time watching it, I was entertained throughout, to the point where I feel like when you see a movie in theaters for the second time, when you really have to go to the bathroom, and you say, I can hold it a while longer, like, that's when you know that you're into it, because otherwise you're like, oh, I've seen it, I can just catch right back up.
I could just go.
I only had really one primarily writing gaffe in the movie very early on, and you've seen it twice now, so you can probably even say it a little bit better than me compared to the guy who just saw it once. Madame Morrible is introducing to Galinda. Sorry, I want to say the G, but it's just Glinda at this point. It's Glinda. Introducing Glinda to the bubble flying device for the first time.
He was so annoyed by this.
Because it's such a weirdly written scene. Because she goes, oh, this is the flying orb, and it does magic and stuff like that. She's like, oh, it's like a bubble. She's like, yeah, sure. Like humoring her that it could be referred to as a bubble. Meanwhile, in the thing, it says push the bubble.
Right. And she even says like the bubble mechanics are hidden inside of the machine to give the I don't know why she felt the need to
why call it an orb? Why in this scene?
She just wanted to be a snob.
But it's just a weird thing. If every other context but that one line refers to it as a bubble, just keep it a bubble.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that made the cut.
No, it was a bit weird.
I know it's such a nitpick, but it was
weird... No, I get you. No, I hear that. I think and then the movie, the biggest moment of the movie, not the biggest moment, but probably it all comes to a head with For Good.
For Good, the big thing. That's the big number. That's the one people really talk about. It's the one that people are very emotional about.
And I have seen so many people completely emotional and wrecked by the end of this movie, sobbing.
I was not one of those people.
I wasn't either, and I'm a crier. But I don't know. I'm personally maybe a little jaded in the world of friendship, but but still, I cry over a lot of things, and I cried in the first movie when Glinda showed up at Ozdust.
Oh, the Ozdust had me in tears. I was
when she started doing the dance with Elphaba, I was very emotional. Yeah. I got teary-eyed and I cried a little in For Good, but it wasn't what I anticipated. And I didn't know if that was just me, because all of these other people have had these emotional bonds with these characters for years, and that's what they were carrying into watching this movie, whereas I'm this is all new to me, and so... But it's interesting. It's interesting to know that you didn't, because
I got more emotional at the finale of Has Been Hotel season 2
that we watched today than this.
Than I did for Wicked.
I was fully prepared to sob. I was like, okay, because I went into the first movie with no expectation.
Right.
I thought it was going to be bad. I was like, I just don't see how they're going to be able to adapt this correctly. Ariana Grande, I was a little concerned about. It was just in general, I went in with very low expectations. Was blown away. And then with this one, I did the opposite, and that was a mistake, because I went in with such high expectations based off of the first film and everything they were able to do, and I felt very underwhelmed. And literally, I would kind of look over at John, because I'm like, am I just heartless? And I'd look over, and John also would just be sitting there
The door scene was great, though.
It was so moving.
I loved the framing when they do the door. And just them having this emotional moment without actually seeing each other.
That was great. That was
so powerful. I mean, and the song itself is very moving, very powerful.
Beautiful song.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande definitely both put themselves into that for sure. And I felt the chemistry. I could see it. I could see it was real. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was moving. It just didn't. It did not pull on the heartstrings for me as much as I thought it was going to. Mm-hmm. And also, this is so random. This is another little thing, John. You'll appreciate this. I have been, and when you guys see it a second time, you'll have to look for this, but I was so distracted with the door scene, because when Glinda's looking out and seeing what is happening to Elphaba, there are these columns in that room, this room where Elphaba, her demise is met, quote unquote, which not really, but these columns look like the Empire State Building built out of Legos, and I could not get past it. And
I
saw it the first time I watched it Monday night, and I was like, the whole time I was staring at the Empire State Building and not at the shadow of Dorothy, and I was like, why is the Empire State Building in this room? And then tonight, I looked for it even more, and I was just like, they're everywhere. Like, why is... It is. I'm like, what did the Empire State Building pay to have their marketing in this movie?
They're like, we need it. What were you guys?
Like, prime example, deviating very slightly, but still on brand. I will say, in the most recent like Disney takeover of the Star Wars movies, my favorite line in all of Star Wars comes from Rogue One, where Jin is having this very impassioned speech about getting the rebellion and going to that island and getting this stuff. And you just hear some dude who you don't see his face in the back going, "What is she proposing?" in the back. And I was sitting in a domed theater in an IMAX. And so, the speakers are everywhere. So I had that line blaring in my ear in the theaters, and I have never laughed so hard.
Completely
the hell
taken,
was that?
I felt so bad. I was sitting next to our friend Nick Lee, who used to do stuff with Happiest Podcast. He came to see it, and he was crying through For Good for sure.
And you're just sitting there like,
I was feeling it, but then when that scene happened at the end, I go, Nick, I'm sorry, but does that not look like the Empire State Building? Like, am I losing it? And he started laughing. He's like, actually, yeah, that really does. And I was like,
it really does.
What is happening right now?
So, to kind of go into like in the moment, in the feels, you're in that kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. Is it bad? I kind of laughed when Nessa got hit by the house.
No.
He did.
Because it's just, why is she in the middle of a storm?
Correct. I was like, what is she doing? She's like going and Bach. I'm like, what are you looking for Bach in the middle of the road during a storm? Like, go. You're the governor. Go home.
He don't want you to let it go.
And what was the time frame of that? Like, it's not like Bach had... At that point, Bach is the Tin Man. Yeah. It's not like Bach had just left. Like...
Right, it'd been a couple days at this point.
Yeah. Like, have you just been, like... Munchkin Land doesn't look that big to me. So have you just, like,
it's
been, like...
Small.
Like going around the streets of Munchkin Land being like, Bach. Like, I just...
Like, there's nobody who has to be employed by her that's like, governess, we need to get you inside.
Correct. Like,
that was
think
never
that the governor would have, like, their people going looking for
and
this.
Looking and doing it. Yeah, it just felt awkward. And I will say that's the benefit of the stage show is that's all off stage. So we don't know exactly how she was crushed by the house, but we can figure it was because she was doing something outside and walking with the shoes, and that's why they take the shoes.
To me, it feels as if in the stage version, it was like a boom, flash storm.
Like literally flash
Nobody
storm.
saw this thing
no
coming.
No one saw it coming.
Compared
and
to the movie,
dropped.
which is like this big, and the whole world is
suddenly
this.
shooken up by it.
Did Madame Morble create this storm in the stage production?
Yeah, she did. That is the whole thing where she's like, I think we need a change of the weather, and she does like a snap, and then it's like boo, boo, boo. So,
and in my opinion too, she caused the flood. I wish that they
the drought.
The drought. The drought.
They talk about there's an animal when they talk about like the history of the animals through Oz. They talk about the Great Drought and how that was the start of the discourse with the animals. It's referred to in the first film, and it's never specifically stated.
Because obviously the animals didn't do it.
But obviously the animals are not the reason why they had a drought.
Yeah.
But the woman who controls the weather...
She's the one who has a very strong personal vendetta against the animals, and she almost uses the wizard as well. To me, she's the one calling the shots. Like, she's even using the wizard to do certain things as well.
Yeah, she's the most evil character.
She's the most evil character for sure. She's definitely the most vindictive, and she's definitely the one pulling all the strings. Yeah. In the book, she's also not great, but she dies at some point. She's not even there for the end or anything. Okay. So
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted her to die.
Yeah, she just goes to jail. I like how in the movie she's taken away by flying monkeys.
That was good.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Because it was cool to see how they reincorporated the monkeys.
Part of me wonders if they took inspiration for that scene in terms of framing from Oz the Great and Powerful. Because it's very similarly framed.
Because it was like the way she was being carried off looks like when they got the Wicked
Witch of the East. Like from the
shoulders, like that pole. It was very similar.
In the stage production, do you ever see Dorothy's face?
Nope.
Nope.
It's
That I like.
behind a scrim the whole time.
I liked that was the case with the movie as well. Like there was no real attention paid.
It's not about her. It's literally she is such a like secondary thought to these characters, which is hysterical.
I thought it was funny when when Elphaba like looks down and is like, "Quit your crying," something like that. Like,
quit your crying.
It's really funny though, the difference in adaptation between stage and screen. We were talking about this in the car.
Yeah, we were.
So there are lines that you're watching in the movie
that were really funny in the
laugh
stage
out loud riots in the stage version.
Yeah.
Like at one point, like for instance, Glinda,
take that one road,
the whole way, and like makes it this big thing.
And in the
and
movie,
then like later when Glinda comes in and she's just like, you don't hurt that little girl and her little dog Dodo or something. And it's just like there are these big moments, and like when Fiyero goes saves,
he
Elphaba,
literally swings in.
Tarzan swings in.
And he goes, "Let the green girl go." And it's a joke, and it's like so they tried to keep it light, and I feel like that was very lost, which can also mess with just the cadence and feeling.
I
liked humor.
I liked the moment. I laughed out loud twice, both times I've seen it, when they're fighting and Elphaba does the little laugh, the infamous laugh.
And he's like,
and then Glinda mocks her with it. Is that in the stage?
Yeah, it's not quite the same, but they literally.
Elphaba doesn't laugh, but the mock doesn't happen.
Yeah, she doesn't mock her, but Elphaba laughs, and then they're fighting, and she does the baton twirling. So it's very similar.
Mm-hmm. The mock though made me laugh out loud. I was that's funny.
And then she's
it made that scene feel lighter. Like where it's like, they're fighting, but they're not like.
They're not really. Yeah. And then I do think the other line I really like that I missed in the movie was when Elphaba's talking to Dorothy and she says, "Taking a dead woman's shoes must have been raised in a barn." It's not in the movie. And I was like, oh, that was funny. That was a funny moment.
I will say, probably apart from the house falling on Nessa.
Yeah.
The other moment I laughed where I probably shouldn't have laughed, or maybe they wanted us to laugh, was, okay, we just do, again!
With no good deed,
no
like
good
she's
deed.
screaming her
and then
face
just
off.
like, Jeff Goldblum,
Jeff Goldblum sitting there with like a record player, and we also started laughing because I'm like, that's such a
that's
horrible
a hard
shift.
cut.
No, literally, one of the kids that was with me tonight, they went, "Meanwhile."
Yes.
And I will say, spoiler.
This whole thing is spoilers. Yeah.
It was very interesting because when you're watching a movie, like you just said with that kid, you can hear kind of people like murmur to each other. Mm-hmm. So in this version, compared to the musical, like when Fiyero turns into the Scarecrow, in the musical, you just know he's the Scarecrow. Mm-hmm. The movie's a little coy about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when his face does get revealed when the trapdoor opens, I did hear it's like, oh, he's alive. Like, whispered that.
That was one of my questions that I had for my friend, and we'll start wrapping this up because I know we've been going for a long time. But one of my friends that I asked them, like, so does Fiyero, because in Wizard of Oz, he's looking for his brain, right? Mm. Yeah. So, like, in the stage show, do you ever see, because we got to see the Tin Man in the movie talk, we got to see the Lion talk, and never Dorothy, but like we never heard anything from Fiyero as the Scarecrow, like until it was the very end of the movie.
The very end, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was like, I was like, okay, he's going with them to go hunt down the Wicked Witch.
You don't see him, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and specifically they gave moments for the Tin Man and the hatred that Bach has towards
which is very deep, yeah.
Very deep. And also the lion, which that to me was sort of confusing anyways, because I was just like, wait a second. Like who's preached this message to you that you were robbed from your shelter because, buddy, you don't know what your life could have looked like.
You don't know what it would have looked like, but
right. Yeah. That was interesting to me for sure. But yeah, never saw Fiyero. Even in that scene, Fiero's not there.
Nope.
And so I'm just like, And I'm like, I was thinking, like, does Glinda not see the Scarecrow ever? And is like,
It's really, and I will say in the movie, it's very clearly his face with burlap over it. Like, it's not.
1000%.
But
Yeah.
meanwhile, which kind of bothered me, and maybe they did it for copywriting purposes, like they wanted to be careful since they don't own
MGM's
Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Original Wizard of Oz.
Which is why we don't get ruby slippers, we get silver
We
slippers.
get the silver slippers,
Which was originally
which is
in the book.
original, yeah,
Right.
whatever. And that's why they do the red lighting on the shoes at one point. It's a clever,
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just interesting because in the stage show, he looks much more like the Scarecrow. Like, it's like a whole burlap sack. He's got the little brown triangle
Right.
nose. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
this was Fierro for sure. Like, if Glinda had seen him, she'd be like, what
He
happened
would
to
have
you?
been like,
Yeah.
And I still was sort of confused. So, like, and this wasn't clear to me, Glinda turned him into the Scarecrow in order
Alphabet
to...
did.
Alpha.
Or, that's what I mean, I'm sorry, yeah. Elphaba turned him into the Scarecrow in order to prevent him from his bones from breaking. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they were literally brutally beating
Beating
him, like, in trying to murder him in the field. So
Yeah, which...
Well, they just up and say they're going to kill him.
They
They're like,
literally-
we're going to question him.
That's what I mean. In the movie, I was like, why was that necessary? Because all that I saw was them tie him to a post. Like, I'm like, why'd you turn him into a scarecrow? You know?
They said, bring him out to that field here, put him up on those poles till he tells us where the witch went, basically. So they're
In the movie. Yeah.
In the musical, it was
they-
like crucifixion.
Well, that's how they should. No, because they literally say the guards are like, put him up on those poles there.
Yeah.
You know, question him basically until he tells us where the witch went. So they basically admit they're going to just put him up on a pole.
Which
and
that
hold him,
is
like,
sort of
on a
inferred
pole.
in the movie as well. But I was just like, and you don't see the actual transformation happen. So I was
No,
just kind
all
of,
you see is, especially the musical too, it's they put him in a cornfield, and as the shadows go down, you see him like this, and like, of course, if people are listening and not watching, they can't see what I'm doing, but basically it's a scarecrow pose, like he's literally
Yeah.
like this,
yeah,
and then it goes to black. So if you know Wizard of Oz really well, you're kind of like,
this
wait a
makes sense.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
on.
that's the same in the movie as well. They show in No Good Deed, they show him
Doing this similar
yeah.
action, the straw coming out of the ground. So
Yeah.
it's like you get the context.
It's not nearly as visually eye-catching as the Tin Man transformation.
That was really cool. I will say the way they took the
With the
silver
hand.
and put
Yes.
it in his hand.
See,
and
that's what I was expecting with the Scarecrow,
Really
and
cool to see that.
yeah, even the Tin Man, all that was that quick second of the tin going around his hand. You didn't even see him fully transform. It was just a quick allusion to like, this is what's about to happen. And because it's a movie and not the stage production, you can do that. We could have gotten
We
some
could have had
sort
a
of
full transformation. Like, why could
Yeah.
like, I get a Broadway show, like they have to put him in a chair and
Yeah.
then turn it, and Elphaba's magicking in the corner, and then suddenly when the guy stands up, he's the Tin Man because they do a switch out,
Yeah.
you know? But like, you have the capabilities and budget to make a Tin Man transformation moment. You have the
Yeah.
budget for a Scarecrow transformation moment.
But is it more so they wanted to preserve like
the
a
surprise.
twist?
I think
Yes.
I don't
maybe.
know. Yeah, for because so at the very end of the movie, Elphaba, it's revealed that Elphaba went through a trap door, did not in fact melt. Does water make her for real melt or no? Okay, that's what I
It
thought.
was just a rumor. It's just
Yeah.
a rumor.
Okay, so she goes into a trap door. She faked her death. She doesn't want anyone to know that she's still alive, including Glinda, and except for Fierro. Why Fierro went to the where I don't know why he knew where to go. I don't have that context.
Well, Kiyamako, the castle she goes to, was his castle.
Sure, but I mean, like, how did he know? Like, oh, she's gonna be in this trap door. We
Right.
never.
In Wizard of Oz, he was there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he was in the, and that bothered me because they could have shown that he was in the room.
And burnt.
Because if you actually look at the movie, and it would have been so cool to see them play this out, was the Scarecrow, the reason she gets water thrown on her is the Scarecrow is there.
In
and
Wizard
he
of Oz.
sets the Scarecrow on fire.
Yes.
And then Dorothy grabs the bucket and throws it, and
Right.
because he's right next to the witch, that's how she melts.
Right.
So that would have been their plan. And you do see, apparently, my cousin who was with us said he saw singed straw at some point near the bottom. So, like, maybe they were insinuating that had happened.
Not in my shadow.
So he knew exactly what.
I was distracted by the Empire State Building.
Empire State Building. It's insinuated he would have been in the room. He would have seen it happen, so he would have known exactly what trapdoor she was using because he knows the cast.
Okay, that makes sense. Is that it? The way in the stage production is Scarecrow there when
They just show Dorothy with the bucket with the scrim mostly, but that's because it's a really quick transition moment because you know what's about to happen, kind of thing. It's kind of insinuated you would figure it out in the stage.
But in the stage production, Elphaba dies and is dead, right?
No, she's alive.
Oh, she's alive.
She does
Exact
go off.
same
It's
ending.
exactly same ending. So
Is the book? No, the book she's alive.
No, in the book she dies. In the book she well, it's kind of like some people are like she could be alive. No one really knows.
But she wouldn't. She would have been alive because the book is the sequels to the book is she has a child.
It's about her son. It's not about her.
When did she have a kid?
that's a whole Fiyero and her. He was married in the book and had an extramarital affair. But that
With
was
Elphaba.
also with Elphaba, and she ended up. He was killed. Fiyero was killed in the books by the wizard's guards. It was a whole thing. And she was so traumatized by the whole experience that she kind of just blacked out. And then one day came to and had a child in her room and was like, whose baby is this? And
so the stage production ends with Scarecrow and Elphaba leaving together. Okay.
Yes, but you don't see where they're leaving. It's not as if they're
just
going
a
into the
mystical door.
Dune desert where it's going.
Yeah, we don't
What
see.
the heck is that? All of a sudden, we're on Tatooine, and I'm confused.
There is a map, like you see the stage map where it says like the unknown lands, and it's kind of insinuated it's like a barren area that no one's really sure of. But we've never seen that visualized. It's just them walking to the end of the stage.
I did catch this second time watching when Elphaba's talking to Dulcibert. Am I saying
Yeah,
that
it's the
right?
two of them. She has a vision flash.
She says, "Yeah, what's beyond Oz?" And she says something about like what is beyond Oz, and when that happens, there's a vision, and it's actually Elphaba and Scarecrow walking together.
through at
That's
the end.
cool.
Yeah.
I never caught that the first time watching it, but this tonight I was like, I know where this scene comes from. Yeah. Well, I recognize those Tatooine sands from anywhere.
Wait a minute.
But no, but I still have so many questions about like what their relationship looks like moving forward because it's like
Wait, how do you go
he's a
from here?
Scarecrow, like
He
he's
won't
made of
die.
So you want to know
made of
something I was
straw.
just thinking about with Dulcibert too? I think again, if you add some time, if you had like Nessa hitting Dulcibert or something like
yes,
something
that would have
like
made her so
that
much more of a
would
villain.
have hit more so like
Or even just like banning Dulcibert from the governor's mansion or something
like
like that.
Something
Yeah.
brutal,
Yes,
you know.
something that continued to build on this character, like painting Nessa as the Wicked Witch of the East.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
because all that I have for context is like she treated Bach badly, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Basically.
you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we get to see that other Munchkins are affected by her new rules of getting transported to Oz, but it all just happens so fast. So we'll I would say those are my like final thoughts. I enjoyed it. It was great. I think the music is great. The performances, the singing, the vocals, phenomenal. But I just wish that again, this is coming from somebody who has not seen the stage production, and I went in very blind.
Yeah.
I just wish I had more character development for sure.
Yeah, for us, I think we said it was a lot of pacing issues. I personally had issues with the amount of interludes and cuts through songs that already existed, but that's because I know the show so well, so it definitely just felt slow to me to start. Then I felt like it picked up momentum, then it kind of died again, then it picked it up again, and I did like the ending. I thought the ending wrapped things up nicely, but I feel like it was almost too nicely. In general, though,
yeah, like that scene with Glinda like addressing the animals.
That
doesn't
did not
happen. In the
happen.
musical.
There was no good resolution for the animals in the musical. They kind of just are left in a lurch. Like that's it. And you know, it shows that not like everybody gets a happy ending. You know what I mean? And like Dr. Dillamond is presumed dead in the musical.
Yeah.
And in the book he's definitely dead. So
Yeah,
it was,
so like that Dr. Dillamond scene when she like sees all the cages does not happen in the musical. It's
No, it
just
is.
no, but it's one animal.
Oh, it's not a
and
bunch
it's
of
Dr.
animals.
Dillamond. So it's like one of those things where like Oz is hanging out with like leopards And ordinarily they would probably maul him to death.
Correct. Or each other. Like
Yeah, or
Yeah.
each other, literally.
Yeah.
But no, it's in general, like,
No, wedding scene, not in the musical.
yeah, wedding scene is not in the
Oh,
the
interesting.
musical.
Okay.
That was definitely an addition. They never got past the engagement stage or anything like that, so that was interesting as well. In general, like, I feel like they maybe added too much in the wrong direction. Like, the things
Yeah.
they thought were important to add to were not the parts I would have added.
Yeah,
to.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not that I know what was added, but I felt that I
True,
was
we don't know,
watching
like, where
things.
the differences are.
Yeah, but I was watching things like this scene doesn't feel as but because I don't have the context of like what's in the stage show and what's not, I'm like I'm going to accept it all as being a part of
What
the
it
stage
is.
show. Yeah.
Which we
Um,
may have addressed this at the very beginning, but I really want to clarify. Like that first like 3-4 minutes of the movie before like they get to like the dedication of the Yellow Brick Road, all of that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
starts with that
It's
that,
supposed
that
to
thank
start
goodness
with the
number.
thank goodness
so it's
number.
like that extra song of Elphaba singing about like her intentions and the Glinda and her friends and then all
The
dancing.
Wizard Guards.
None of that happens.
None of that happens in the stage
Yeah.
show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think overall, like, I don't want to take away from the fact that it's a good movie. Like, it's fun, it is enjoyable, it's something that I'll definitely watch again. I know I've critiqued it so much, so I don't want it to sound like, wow, Nick hated that. No, I did not. I really enjoyed it. But I think that there will be people that are so passionate about
Oh,
this
100%.
movie that will pretend like it's like not pretend. And it to them it may be the greatest thing that's ever happened. And I think a lot of that passion comes from the fact that they've been looking for a way to see this story that they're so passionate about represented in another way, and that's very exciting. And I love that for people, but I also like yeah, I don't know. As someone who's not connected to the characters, I just wanted more. And it's great to hear that from you guys as well, or people who have been connected to the characters.
Very connected to the character.
Yeah.
So, what would you give the movie out of 10 broomsticks?
Nice, I
And
like this.
broomsticks.
I would say, honestly, I feel like Rotten Tomatoes has it correct. At 70%, I'd give it 7. Yeah.
I would say like 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the same.
To me, it's very average. I would have given the first one 8, 8.5.
Oh, I would have even given the first one like 9.
Maybe 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the first one blew.
The
Yeah.
chills.
I actually had
Well,
chills.
but again, character development. It did it
It's
so
so-
well. I was
it's
locked
good.
in on these characters, and then I feel like this movie happened, and I was just like,
It just
what?
kind of.
Yeah, like, well, what just happened?
So,
Yeah.
while we're in our final thoughts,
Yeah.
would you think you would be more into Act 2 if they cut that first 4 minutes and went right into the thank goodness number, and there was only like a 15-minute intermission between the two, like you're watching the stage play?
Right. Oh yeah. I think watching the stage. I think stage shows handle these things so differently, anyways. Like it's such a different way to experience a storyline. When I go into a stage show, I anticipate it moving faster than I do with a movie, and a lot of that is because of the visual representation. Because I think when you're watching it in a movie, it's drawn out more for sure, and so I think you have more creative control. I think like I think you have the ability to show people different things and maybe a little bit more depth than you would in a stage show. Like there's so much more limitation in visually depicting a story on stage versus what you're doing with CGI in a movie, you know?
Agreed.
So I'm gonna have to go see the stage show and be like,
Yes, you
that
do.
rocked, you know?
Thank you.
I'll take you.
I'm
totally
so down.
take you.
I think it's on. It's like I feel like it's always on tour, but
It's
I
on tour a lot. Yeah.
yeah, it's coming to Florida. I think like I know specifically in Orlando, it's coming next year sometime. So I'm hoping that I can go see it. But no, I think overall like. I understand why people love these characters and the storyline so much. It is moving. It is a beautiful representation of friendship, of love. It is very powerful. The messages are very powerful in this
Agreed.
franchise.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, it's meant a lot to me for many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see it portrayed on the big screen. It's beautiful to see how it's reached so many new people, and they're understanding the messages behind it. And I think that's fantastic. But I just don't want people to lie to themselves. It's like
Yeah.
I can sit here and objectively look at this and say this could have been better. It's okay though. Like you can
Yeah.
be happy.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it could have been better.
Yeah. And I love the passion that people have for it, for sure.
Oh,
But
100%. And I think it's fine to be passionate, but also like don't be mean about it either, because there's some people online who are like, how dare anybody not think this is the most perfect movie ever? And it's like, art is subjective.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to think differently.
right, we all
But
process it
also,
differently, for sure.
I think you're putting the beautiful Ozzian glasses on right now, and you just want to see it
Yeah.
as this
Yeah.
perfect thing. And I think in a couple weeks with a little more objectivity, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm so thankful that like you guys shared your perspective of it on it, for sure, and honestly how it sort of aligns with my take, as we all approach that so differently because of our
Yeah.
exposure to the characters and storyline, and it's interesting that we walked away with similar
Pretty
thoughts.
similar thoughts. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we were all like on the same
Yeah.
vibe, because I really did think you were gonna love it so much. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be so upset.
No. I loved it. I enjoyed it, for sure, but
But it's just like not like this.
could have been more for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had all these things planned, but we have been going, which is great. I love the banter. I love the conversation. I had trivia planned for you guys, but we're not going to be able to get into that. And I also wanted to talk more about this, but I'll leave it by saying the visuals in this movie were beautiful. Oz, we got to see so much more of than we like, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I can see this land existing either at Epic Universe or at Universal Studios
Yes.
so well, and like the attractions that they could develop for this, and the storytelling that could exist within a land or a world within Universal Orlando could be so great. And I hope that it gets picked up. I hope that either Epic Universe picks it up, or we've got a lot going on over at Universal Studios in Islands of Adventure, where a whole area of that park is not being utilized hardly at all. And so we'll
like,
see.
Maybe like Defying Gravity, a VR Oz experience of like flying around these like different locations.
Take Flight of Passage and make it even better and even more than what it is now. And my gosh, and Universal does screens really well, so like that would be absolutely incredible. I think
I'd be there.
Yeah,
Not even a question.
I think it would sell so well, and I think it would connect people to the story even more. I think that's happening with Isle of Burke right now. I think that people are being exposed to these characters in Isle of Burke that have never even watched the movies, and they're like, "Wait a second, this is fun. I want to go watch this. I want to check this out." So, I think like we need this in a theme park for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to see. Look, hi, I'll be there. I'm totally for it.
Opening day.
Cool. I think it would be awesome to walk through the Emerald City, and I think that's something that's been lacking in general anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, Universal, do it.
Do it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Plug your channels, plug the pod, and everybody has to go listen to Mickey and the Mouse for sure.
You're so sweet.
Where can we find you?
You can find us at Instagram at Mickey and the Mouse Pod. You can find us at Mickey and the Mouse Podcast. We're basically everywhere, so anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can find us.
And then on Mondays and Fridays, we do Twitch streams.
Mondays and Fridays, we do Twitch streams. Also, Mickey and the Mouse. Basically, same tag everywhere. So just look up Mickey and the Mouse, either pod or podcast, and you will find us.
Yeah.
For sure. And we do post the links on our Instagram for the live streams. They're really, really fun.
And for people looking for us, all one word.
Yeah, it's all one word, just Mickey and the Mouse Pod. So,
I love it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you both so much. This has been so much fun. Sorry that I've kept you up so late, but thank you for being on.
we would have been up anyway, so this is literally fine.
All good.
This is what happens when you see a movie at like 6:30 at night and then have to like be like, okay, we're doing this.
Well, and I love it. Like, I know that we've gone a long time, but this is the nature of the park bench. This is what happens when you're chilling on the park bench having these conversations discussing Wicked. Hopefully, the next time that we get to do this, we'll have to make it a point that the park bench will exist in the Wicked themed world or land, and we'll get to go sit on one of those beautiful, I envision them to be emerald
Yes.
park benches that exist within that
Maybe
world.
with some Empire State Buildings just hanging out.
Yeah, they will be there. Let me tell you, they're going to sell Lego versions of the Empire
Lego
State
versions
Building.
of the Empire State Building just surrounding us on a nice park.
I need for you guys to pay attention to that scene the next time you watch it, and please confirm that I'm not losing it. That I was just like, what is happening?
It was very weird looking, but now I'm gonna have to really look at the shape of it because I was focused on like the alphabet part.
I was very distracted by like the tapestry that she was looking at.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
also
very
distracting.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Anyways, appreciate you guys. We'll see you real soon. Thank everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.